Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Dwitch, back again with another video. This is another day in my life of me documenting me building my business up to $2 million for the year. In this video, we're basically just gonna talk about, honestly, it's just gonna be mainly a rant, or I don't know, just me brainstorming about kind of what we're trying to do with this jewelry store. Before we get started though, tap in the Discord, link in the description is free. Literally for anybody that's in ecom, trying to get into ecom, just ask questions. I'm down to help you. We got other people in there that can help you as well. Anyways, done with the shameless plug. Yeah, so let's talk about the jewelry store. It kind of what's been happening, I guess a broader overview, and then kind of my thoughts right now. So as a broader overview of what's been going on currently on this jewelry store as a whole for the last like 6 months, really. Honestly, not even 6 months, really just, I guess, yeah, we could just talk about the 6 month span. You know, we've been running Meta at a 1.1 RAS, right? So basically what that means is, obviously, if we spend 10K, you know, we're making 10K per month with it. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, we had other channels in the back end to kind of sustain this level of scale. But the concerning aspect for it, for me, is that, you know, throughout this year, I've been doing a lot more research about just, you know, ecom in general. And I've been realizing, and it took me pretty long to realize, that technically, like, the product that I'm selling, yes, it's, you know, people buy, you know, whatever, it's kind of validated. But at the same time, you know, it's not necessarily the best vehicle for me to put my, one, my capital, and two, my energy behind, because you kind of have to pick and choose what you put your time and capital into. Because, you know, let's say, I'll give two examples. Let's say one guy is selling a jewelry product that's very, very, very niche, which I guess is kind of what I'm selling at this point. Very, very niche, and he's able to do, you know, last year we did like 1 mil in revenue with it, basically. You know, we do 1 mil in revenue, whatever. One guy does that, and he puts the same amount of effort as some other guy that's selling a evergreen, like, I don't know, supplement, or like, you know, knee pain product. And he does, I don't know, he does 300, he does 3 mil, or he does 5 mil with the same amount of effort. Because at the end of the day, the more revenue you do, like, you're not necessarily doing more work. You're at that point working a bit smarter, and you have team members that are, you know, facilitating your tasks. So the skills that you are using aren't necessarily the same. You might be doing it potentially at a higher level, but for the most part, the skills are pretty similar. And I feel like, you know, the product that we've been selling, and I talked about this a little bit, is kind of a vehicle that's limiting our scale, and isn't something that, you know, is worth putting my time into. Because even just from running the health store, yes, it's not at, you know, the levels where it needs to be yet, but just from the optimizations that I've been doing, and just seeing, you know, the consistent growth from it, it's kind of showing me that with this store, it's just been a headache for no reason. Like, yeah, in Q4, you know, for the 3 month period, you know, we'll make, you know, $400,000 to $600,000 revenue, whatever. That's cool, you know, it's cool, but that's only, you know, for a short period of time. Yeah, we make profit on it, but at the end of the day, we want the shit to be a year over year type of, you know, growth. And again, I feel like the vehicle is kind of limiting us, and it's not necessarily the niche that it's in, but the product that we are selling on the jewelry store. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, so what do we want to do? Do we want to turn off that product? Because again, it's been 6 months and we're not seeing the results that we need to see. And we've tested, usually I would say you'll test more offers, test more creatives, test this and that. But at this point, we've tested this for a whole year now. And in my opinion, like, we can deem that it's not necessarily a, you know, a skill issue. Sometimes, you know, it is a product issue, especially when you've been running it for a long period of time. So I'm saying, okay, do we want to, you know, drop this product and just wait to launch the new product that we're developing, which we're getting samples hopefully next week? It was shipped, so hopefully, you know, that is the new hero product that we run. do we want to test new products in the meantime, like just drop ship them motherfuckers, just, get some, cash flow into the door? These are all things that we're talking about. Or do we want to just go, semi-organic, go with the affiliates route with it? Because if we do that, profit margins will be insane, and we could do 30K a month, but still net like 40%. Like, there's many different routes that we can go with this, but as a paid ads, route in terms of the jewelry store, the hero product that we're running right now, it doesn't make sense. Again, like I just said, it doesn't make sense as a vehicle to generate revenue, and that's kind of where we're at right now. We kind of have to pivot. That's why you kind of can see, throughout this last week, I haven't really been talking as much about the store, because I'm really trying to figure out what direction we want to go in, because we can test different products. We can go like the organic route with it. Not fully organic, just by organic I just mean working with influencers and doing it that way and retargeting, blah 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 blah. There's a lot of different routes that we can go into, but I'm trying to differentiate what is the best route for me right now. So that's kind of where my head's at. Again, we're looking at it from a vehicle to success level, and that's kind of how you have to look at things. Sometimes what gets you to making your first 10K, making your first 50K, making your first 100, even making your first million online revenue, whatever, isn't necessarily the vehicle that's going to get you to that 10 million mark or whatever mark you want to get to. And you have to be okay to, either drop it or pivot. Now, I think this is more of a pivot situation because we have a huge email list. We still get people buying this product, but it's more of a situation that I kind of talked about yesterday, that we should have been introducing new products. We shouldn't have been relying on this main hero product, and we should have had a stronger back end where 40% of our customers are coming back month over month for different products. So that's why I'm telling you guys that right now, because this vehicle is a jewelry store, that's the niche that we're in, the vehicle is very, very weak right now. But if we're able to identify a better product that has a bit more demand for this current period in time, I think we'll do well. Because again, at this point, like, it's not that I don't know how to scale stores. It's not that I don't know how to make creative. It's not that I don't want to do this and that. It's that the product itself is, whatever I'm doing, no matter what I'm doing, I'm just putting in too much work. Like, when you're selling a product, you shouldn't be in a position where you're forcing you're trying to force the shit to work. It should be that, it might be break even at one point, but within you changing the offers, within you changing creatives, within you doing this and that, you're able to optimize it to a point where it's profitable. I shouldn't be, working hard as fuck to kind of sell the product. And you guys won't really understand what I'm trying to say unless you see what the product is. Maybe I'll release it in a later date and show you guys kind of what I'm talking about when we get back up to scale. But you won't necessarily understand what I'm trying to say until you see the product. This is a product that honestly a lot of people have seen before. There's not really anything unique about it, I guess, to give a bit of context. And it's really kind of, at this point, low-key oversaturated product. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with saturated products if you're able to find a different angle or a different gap with it. Like, if you can target a different audience, a different problem, this and that. But it's a jewelry product, bro. At the end of the day, even if you go to a different angle, different audience, it doesn't necessarily, do anything sometimes, because for ours, like, everybody has already seen this problem as whatever the quote-unquote solution. Like, we already know, like, everybody has seen it, basically. So it's like, the only differentiator is if we had like a different mechanism, which could be the different, like, I don't know, aspect of the product, which that's not what we have with that specific product right there. So it's like, again, we're kind of capped to what we can do. Like, if this was a different situation where we were selling, I don't know, a knee pain product, everybody has seen a knee brace. But if we find a knee brace with a different mechanism, a different aspect of why this knee brace is better than the other ones, then we can tap in that saturated market. But we can't do that with a jewelry product, especially for the one, well, you can, but we can't do it with the one that we're currently selling, if you kind of get what I am putting down. So that's why we kind of went ahead and are trying this new product that we developed. To be honest, it's basically a winning product that's already been sold in the jewelry space, but it has a different mechanism, a different aspect that's already a winning aspect. And it's another winning aspect that I've seen honestly go semi-viral on TikTok Shop. If you know, you know. So again, that's kind of what, I hope this makes sense. Like, this is just my raw thoughts of what I am seeing in real time when I'm looking at my data. And yeah, we ran this shit for 6 months, not the best margins that could have been, that we could have had. But you know, we had to test it out to see if, you know, we're putting our best foot forward and if what we're doing is going to get us to the point that we want to get to. And it's clear to me that this product, while it's good for Q4 or whatever, it's not the product that's going to allow us to push volume in evergreen periods. And that's okay. But we have to kind of move fast and test different products. And again, find what's going to allow us to get to those 6-figure months. Because at the end of the day, with this, the goal with this shit, we're not trying to push to do, you know, barely 1K a day. Like, that's not something that I'm, like, at this point in my life, like, that's not what I would like to do. You know, we've been able to do, you know, way more than that prior in the past. So honestly, personally, I'm not satisfied with results like that. And that's why, again, I'm trying to look at this objectively and kind of actually brainstorm and see if I'm being emotional about it. And that's why it takes like a couple of days to even brainstorm these type of ideas, because you don't know if you're being emotional, if you're not seeing it in the right, you know, lens. But again, I've looked at this multiple times over and over again, and the best course of action is just to chill off that product. I don't know if I want to turn it off. I might just turn it off, but the issue with that is we still have payroll. We still have members on the team that we still have to pay. So we still have to get some revenue coming into the door. So that's why we also have to think about what is the next product to pivot into. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense to blow money on ads if it's not profitable, you feel what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I don't really have an update of what my decision is yet. I just wanted to kind of come in here and just tell you guys kind of where we're at with that store. Yeah, man. I'm gonna just do a rev check and then I'll let y'all go about y'all day. If you made it this far, I appreciate y'all for even watching this video. Honestly, just my yap and just kind of like, I guess this is a journal, no gay shit though. I don't like the word journal, but of my life and kind of what's going on with these stores, because again, I made the commitment to make these videos daily. But yeah, that's kind of the update. Again, done with my yap. This is what the store is looking like today, the jewelry store. You know, 200, so whatever. Nothing crazy. This is yesterday. As you can see, like these revenue, like we started the year, you know, we were doing 50K months. That we've kind of fell down. But anyways, enough of that yap. I'm not gonna go into that whole tangent. Yesterday with the health store, as you can see, like the health store is starting to pick up steam. Like in a couple of weeks, if this performance, you know, remains and I start implementing, not even start, when I start implementing these new VSLs, the store is probably gonna outtake the jewelry store, which is fine. But that's just gonna show you guys of kind of what I'm talking about the vehicle sometimes being the issue. But I won't talk too much about that. That's kind of what I'm seeing. We'll probably get this to 1K days relatively quickly. But let me stop yapping. This is today on the health store. Yeah. So yeah, I'm done yapping. About to dip, about to get some, gotta pump in, and yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Appreciate you guys for making this far in this video. If you made it this far in this video, just say the word win in the chat. Win, like W-I-N. You're a winner, you win, blah blah. You want to retire parents, want to be that guy, yada yada. I'm done with the yap session. I'm about to catch you on the next one. Peace.